We've started things off by talking about what it takes to be a social media lead. We've broken down the platforms, and you even showed me this nexus that has all the organization, and even talking about what you're posting out onto social media. So now at the end of all of it, I gotta ask, how important is it to kind of look back on your previous work and learn from it?
It's very crucial. It's like a final step. You know, you have this package and you tied the ribbon, but you just didn't do the bow. So to neatly kind of wrap it all up, it's good to look back at what you've just done and reflect on it. So a retrospective is very important, not just for social, but also for other parts within an event, whether that would be the graphics team or the video team that might be involved, or even the events team. So for us, we will look at posts and how they performed. So if a post performed very well, what was it that made it perform well? Well, it could be that it was the first post. It could be that it had really great content. It could be that it had a cool guest featured within it. And then on the other side, why didn't a post do so well? So it's good to compare and see and kind of read between the analytics and have a better understanding of what you can do to create the best content plans going forward.
And before we break into that, I have to ask, how do you measure success on something so volatile like social media? Is there like a certain threshold of thumbs up or likes or retweets that you want to hit, or is it all circumstantial?
So we have our own set of metrics that we look at. There's things that we scrutinize a bit more over the others. So it's not always about how many likes, retweets, or comments something got. There's so much more to it behind the data that is presented on all of these platforms, and how we analyze it and how we use that feedback from these metrics and apply it for future posts.
In a hypothetical situation, you have this content plan, you've organized it, you come out with the right creative wording, and you post it on social media, and it just doesn't hit the metrics that you wanted. How do you personally handle that?
So I think the best way to approach this is you don't internalize it. You don't know what the mood of the internet is that day. You don't know if maybe you missed the mark by an hour. And it's not ever good for yourself or for your company for you to be internalizing the outcome of each post. So it's best to just, assess it and think about, how could this be improved, or how could I change something about this next time, and use that feedback and see how that can be applied in a future post.
Does the feedback come from the comments directly in the post, or does the feedback come from other people on your team?
It's a combination of the two. Sometimes your fans will tell you exactly how it is, and sometimes your fans are right. And other times, your fans might be completely wrong, but a peer might be able to help you out of the situation and help you dissect what went wrong and what could be changed for the future. In not internalizing it, but actually looking at it analytically, you're setting yourself up for more success for future posts. Let's shift gears and let's look at the Liquid Hacks Retro. We're not going to dive into the quantitative side, but we're going to reflect on the qualitative side. With the first post, it was the first instance, the first announcement of us doing Liquid Hacks. So the way that it was received with the fans, it's going to be more explosive, it's going to have more commentary, but as time goes on, at some point you will have acquired the set amount of people that want to participate in this, and at that point it becomes redundant for the others. If they've already seen it the first time, they're going to tune it out the second time.
Nav, thank you so much for joining me here on Liquid Mastery. I really appreciate all the insight that you brought and what it takes to be a social media lead. And maybe there's people that are watching right now that want to do what you do for their job. What is a helpful piece of advice that you could give to them?
My advice, I feel strongly about this, is going to school for a program that is reflective of this, whether it's marketing or it's communications. I'm not saying that you might learn social media in school. You learn social really by doing it, but there's ways to be an effective communicator. There's ways to learn how to market properly. There's ways to learn about publishing platforms. So academically, you will learn all of that in those kind of spaces. And when you go to the real world, you apply parts of that, but you also learn from doing. And secondly, there's a lot of really great social literature out there. There's some that is so outdated from like 2010 that is not even effective right now, but reading that old literature helps understand the frame of references of where we have gotten to where we are today. And all these platforms are constantly changing. So it's always great to read up about it, whether it's a book or it's an article or it's a long form piece. There's great content out there to be read.
Awesome. Thank you again, Nav, so much for joining me here, and I really appreciate the time that we got to spend together.
Thanks for having me.